So, நீங்கள் எல்லாருமே கேட்டுட்டு இருப்பது Tour and Talkers. Stay tuned, and we're coming back with more, more things to talk about. சூப்பரா இருந்தது. Oh my god, I'm just like so I am lost. நான் என்ன பேசணும்னே மறந்துட்டேன். It was so nice. I didn't even know that, you know, you could do all of those different things. So it is just mind blowing.
Tour and Talkies with Rjsuresh and Rjsandhya. Radio Live. இது புத்துணர்வின் வேற லெவல்.
நீங்கள் எல்லாருமே கேட்டுட்டு இருப்பது Tour and Talkers, and today is a very interesting show for me, and I am just mind blown. போன செக்மெண்ட்ல it was completely unexpected. நான் வந்து அவர் இன்டர்வியூ பண்ண போறேன் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கும் போது I did not even think of asking him to play the guitar or anything, but அவர் வாசிச்சு காமிச்சதும், ஸ்பெஷலி அந்த சின்ன சின்ன ஆசையில வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து எல்லா ஃபில்லும் போட்டுட்டதுக்கு அப்புறம் லாஸ்டா அவர் வந்து வெறும் சின்ன சின்ன ஆசைன்னு வாசிக்கும் போது I was like, ஓ இவ்வளவு வித்தியாசம் இருக்கா அப்படின்னு வந்து தோணுச்சு. But what I want to talk to you about in this segment, Prasna, is the fact that when you're here next weekend, you're not just doing 3 shows, you're also doing a workshop in London. So I wanted to know what can people expect from that workshop, and what does it cover? What are you going to do in that workshop?
The workshop is on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
In Upper Creek.
Greenwich.
In the last 1 year, I have been doing so many guitar workshops all around the US, close to about 20 or so, in different cities. I have a lot of people writing to me from around the world all the time, wanting to study with me privately. ஆனா எனக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் சொல்லிக் கொடுக்க முடியாது. It's just not possible. So I thought through these workshops I can make a difference to them by being there in person and helping them with something that they want to know. So for example, in the workshop, when the guitar skills workshop, it's a broad workshop.
Okay.
I don't come to London that often, and I don't want to. I don't have that hierarchy in teaching. இப்போ என்ன ஆயிடுதுன்னா, இப்போ நம்ம வந்து ஒரு ஒர்க் கிட்டார் ஒர்க் ஷாப்னு பண்றோம். So a lot of people want to know how should they be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right? என்னெல்லாம் அவங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். நான் அந்த மாதிரி சொன்னேன்னாக்கா I'm polarizing the whole chance of making it special for everyone. As long as I have the confidence to make sure that I can handle any different skill level of people, it is much more enjoyable for me to have people of all ages and all skills and all styles.
Nice.
That is where it is challenging and fun for me. So for example, some guitar players may be used to playing heavy metal. Some guitar players are playing Rjsuresh songs, right? I want to be able to make it work for everyone. And so if somebody comes and says, okay, I like playing rock and I like playing pop and I've been working on Michael Jackson's Beat It, immediately I have a connect. So okay, then they want to learn how to play the riff properly. Okay, so if that's what they're working on, I'll help them with that. If somebody wants to know how to play Raja Soran Nan, okay. If they want to learn that song, okay, I can help with them. Okay, and if somebody has been working on some Carnatic ideas on their own and they want me to help them, I will help them. But I also want to, at the end of the workshop, create value for everyone and make them go back with a renewed appreciation for what they do.
Nice.
See, there are 2 ways in which a teacher can make a difference. One is to inspire them and to make them feel that they are already in the path and show them the path clearer. The other is to make them feel, oh my God, இவர மாதிரி என்னால வாசிக்க முடியாது, எவ்வளவுதான் ட்ரை பண்ணாலும். இந்த
Yeah.
செகண்ட் வரவே கூடாது.
Mhm.
Because music is for everyone's enjoyment and music is not sports.
Mhm.
You can't say this person is the best, that person is the. ஓரளவுக்கு தான் சொல்லலாம். And
Yeah.
a lot of people play music for lots of different reasons. But the one thing that connects all the people who are going to come to the workshop and me is that we all love the guitar.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter if you play Iron Maiden or Lamb of God. It
Yeah.
does not matter if you're into Rjsuresh music, or it does not matter if you play classical guitar, or it does not matter if you play jazz.
Mhm.
You still play the guitar. And
Mhm.
guitarன்றது வந்து அவ்வளோ ஒரு டைவர்ஸ் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட். இதே வீணா ஒர்க் ஷாப்பா இருந்தாக்கா எப்படி இருந்திருக்கும்? 100% it would have been a Carnatic workshop.
Mm.
இதே trombone workshop இருந்தா 100% it would have been a jazz or a classical workshop.
Okay.
But this is a guitar workshop. So this is something that metal guitar players, Carnatic players, Ilayaraja and kind of players, people who want to learn A.R. Rahman songs, there are a lot of things. If you take like a if you take a Rahman song, Vinay Tandi Varuvai,
Mhm.
okay, I know some guitar players have asked me how to play that,
Mhm.
because those are not normal things that you see in other Tamil songs.
Mhm.
Some of those chords that are played on the guitar are not common stuff,
Mhm.
right? So, I will have the chance to customize it for each person, which makes it very interesting for me. And B, also talk about certain general things like எப்படி practice பண்ணா you can be productive. நிறைய பேர் வந்து 4 hours a day practice பண்ணியும் next day ஒரு டிஃபரன்ஸும் இல்லை. I'm not able to see, I'm getting frustrated, I don't have much time. How can you practice for 15 minutes and make your practice so productive?
Mhm.
இந்த மாதிரி certain basic things வந்து I want to give to people so that they can go back and feel like, oh, okay, how do I increase my productivity in the shortest possible time? And these are things that have come from a lifetime of teaching.
Yeah.
So I want to give that benefit to all people. So எந்த style of music நீங்க வாசிச்சாலும், as long as you play the guitar, and in fact, if you don't play the guitar and you still want to attend the workshop, that is also fine with me.
Wow.
I'm fine if there are keyboard players. I'm fine if flute players come. I will be able to make it valuable for everyone. Although we have called it a guitar workshop,
Yeah.
there if some exceptions can be made too. So I look forward to, and it is a small group, so we are only looking at about 15 people or so.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it.
That is so exciting. And for people who don't know what workshop we're talking about, it's on the 4th of May at Up the Creek, Greenwich, in the morning. I think it's around 11 o'clock in the morning. And you can find the tickets and all of the information in bluefeatherevents.uk. And you can also follow, Guitar Prasanna on Instagram, and you'll have details of the tickets and stuff like that. So, கண்டிப்பா வந்து நீங்க இதை பத்தி கேட்டுட்டு இருக்கீங்க, நீங்க ஒரு மியூசிஷியன், அதுவும் உங்களுக்கு இவர் எவ்வளவு கிட்டாரை லவ் பண்றாரோ அதுல வந்து ஒரு 10% லவ் இருந்தா கூட கண்டிப்பா வந்து பாருங்க. பிகாஸ் ஐ எம் ஃபாலோயிங் இன் லவ் வித் guitar. I don't know how to play it, and I've always wondered, ஏதாவது ஒரு மியூசிக்கல் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் நம்ம கத்துக்கணுமே அப்படின்னு. I've been on the dance side. I can kind of hear music and do dance, but I can't play any music and I can't sing and things like that. But I'm so interested, I do want to be a part of that workshop, just to understand how do you decode things, and how does how does teaching music work, because I think I've always been amazed with how someone can break music into maths, because at the end of the day, when you're teaching something, I think it needs to be more logical sometimes. And I've always been interested in how do you break music into math and then give it a dinner. So
it's interesting you said that, because for example, even if you take a song like Ilainila Purigirade, whatever it is, okay, now a lot of people don't know that Ilayaraja is doing some very, very subtle things that is not obvious unless you understand the theory behind it. For example, the chords in that song. Why is the melody? What is happening in the melody? The melody is based coming out of certain chords that Ilayaraja used in the song. That's a chord that becomes the melody. It is not coming out of a Carnatic raga.
Yeah.
Right? It is not coming out of an Indian mindset. It is coming out of a guitar mindset. Ilayaraja is thinking like a guitar. In fact, the
Oh, wow.
melody that SPB sings,
Yeah.
Ilayaraja, I'm 100% sure, would have come up with on the guitar,
Mm-hmm.
or at least thought of it from the angle of a guitar. That is why. So in the concepts, I want to explain because nobody explains these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody explains these things. எல்லாம் வந்து half baked tutorials இருக்கு, and most of the time it is not done by people who have the authority to actually get into the details.
Yeah.
And I want to make that fill in that difference.
That is so interesting to know, because I mean, in my own profession, when I teach, I always tell people, that my way of teaching is not just saying what to do, but also saying why you're doing what you're doing. So
Exactly.
it just kind of struck that chord with me when you said அதெல்லாம் அந்த டீடைல்லாம் சொல்லி கொடுத்தாதானே புரியும், எப்படி பண்ணணும்னு மட்டும் சொல்லறதை விட அந்த டீடைல் சொல்லி கொடுத்தோம்னா maybe they can come up with their own way of doing different things. And
100% you அதான் நீங்க சொன்னதுதான், that is the exact
yeah,
idea.
it is so interesting. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம சூப்பரா கிட்டார் பிரசன்னா அவங்களோட பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம். அவங்க வந்து கிட்டாரை டீகோட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. And I'm falling in love with the instrument, but also with his way of teaching and his way of playing. In the varam, in the coming weekend, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of May, we have him playing in London and Edinburgh. So if you're around, go check out the tickets, and please buy the tickets and come for the show. அவர்கிட்ட வந்து இந்த இந்த ஃப்ரைடே வந்து இளையராஜா பத்தி வாசிக்க போறீங்க, சாட்டர்டே வந்து ஏஆர் ரஹ்மான் பத்தி வாசிக்க போறீங்க, and then Sunday Edinburghல you're doing a mix of everything. You worked with Ilayaraja, you worked with A.R. Rahman, you worked with other Indian musicians, but you've also worked with rock bands, you worked with Western musicians. What is the difference in, when I'm saying, I'm not asking about the difference in music, but I'm asking about the difference in how people approach. Is there a difference in how people approach music in these two continents?
Kandipa. Not only that, also even on an individual level.
Mm-hmm.
So let us start with home. Home, now let us keep it to Ilayaraja and A.R. Rahman.
Yeah.
Their approach is completely different.
Okay.
இப்போ இளையராஜா சார் வந்து he thinks like a classical composer. இப்போ ஒரு classical composer, let's say you take Mozart.
Mm-hmm.
Mozart wrote everything for everybody. Mozart wrote what the clarinet player should play. He also wrote what the bass player should play. Everything is completely written.
Mm-hmm.
Ilayaraja sir comes from that thinking, where everything is conceived and composed by him. Of course, it is not possible to just do it like that. The musicians are contributing to a lot of things, and I'm sure they have done some of their own spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, he comes up with all the parts.
Okay.
இதுதான் vocal வாசிப்பு பாடணும், இதுதான் flute பண்ணணும். A.R. Rahman can also do that, but he also chooses to do something which is very different, which is, how can I give a basic template to somebody and ask them to find new ways of approaching that,
Mm-hmm.
and work with them organically. So the difference is, Raja sir, for example, had and has a steady band of musicians. The guitar player has been there forever, the drummer, இப்பெல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் change ஆகலாம், but for many, many years,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it was like a laboratory of all these musicians coming every day to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So he can do certain things with them that comes out of the fact that they're there every day.
Yeah. Just
A.R.
practice.
Rahman started working in a different way. He started calling specialist musicians from outside the industry. Like me, I was not part of the film industry until I played Julai Madam Vandan in Pudiyam.
Mhm.
Or Viku Vinayakaram playing Gattam in Iruvar, right? Vishwa Mohan Bhatt playing slide guitar. இவங்கெல்லாம் தமிழ் film industry musicians கிடையாது.
Mhm.
So Rahman approached a very different path. And his point is this: if I'm calling Prasanna or Viku Vinayakaram or any of these people, why don't I bring the best out of what they do, integrate it in my song? Doesn't mean he doesn't know what he is doing.
Yeah.
Of course, he knows what he is doing. He is thinking like a team leader who is getting inputs from the team and customizing it to what he wants. So the approach is different.
Mm-hmm.
Ipo in the second approach is what, let's say, we do in jazz also,
Okay.
where some parts of it is purely composed. So when I play with my bands in New York, when I compose music and have them play my music, நான் வந்து the bass guitarக்கு என்னென்ன திங்ஸ் எல்லாம் வாசிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு நான் சிலப்போ I have to write everything.
Mm-hmm.
ஏன்னா எனக்கு அந்த சாங்க்கு I want them to play exactly like what's in my head.
Yeah.
But வேற பாட்டுக்கு I don't want them to play exactly like what in my head, because I will feel bored.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to bring their own ideas. Ana, it's not their composition. So I have to find a way to make it clear that this is what I want, but within this much scope for you to interpret. Interpret is a beautiful word.
Yeah.
Interpret, improvise. All of these things are possible. Either one, the jazz mindset. The classical mindset is the composer has to know every little thing that everybody should play.
Got it.
இதுக்கு நடுவில் இந்த ராக் பேண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வாசிக்கும் போது ஒண்ணுமே எழுதி இருக்காது.
Oh, okay.
We don't read music. Most rock musicians don't read music.
Okay.
Like music பார்த்தா பயந்துருவாங்க.
Yeah.
It's only classical musicians who read music all the time.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Rolling Stones reading music when they're playing? No way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they have a different policy. They bring together, like organically work something out, learn it by memory, write a few aids saying, okay, these are the chords, and then this is the riff. So the approach becomes different in each case.
Yeah. And as a musician, what is your favorite approach out of the three? Like, what is your most comfortable approach out of the three?
Mine is personally a mix of the Ilayaraja sir approach, where you know exactly what you want from everyone, mixed in with the Rahman approach, where you deliberately don't want to know what everyone is going to play. It's a mix of both. I am actually right in the middle of both.
Right in the middle of both. And as a composer, how are you? Like as a musician, if you're in the middle of both, as a composer, do you pick and choose your method depending on the song?
Correct. For example, my last show in London was on September 14, 2001.
Oh my God, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. So that was a concert at Queen Elizabeth Hall, where the first part was a Carnatic Kacheri, which I played. Second part was a Carnatic Kacheri by M.S. Gopalakrishnan on violin. The third part was a contemporary dance done by Italian dancer Maresa Moglia, for which I composed the music for an acoustic guitar, viola, harp, oboe, cello, and vocals, soprano vocals.
Wow.
So everything what they did was something I wrote. Not a single note that was different from what I wrote. Everything. I had to write for the oboe player, I had to write for the clarinet player. One note kuda, I had to know exactly how to do it. The second section was a Bharatanatyam section by Krishnaveni Lakshmanappa, principal of Kalakshetra. And the last section was bringing all of these together.
Okay.
In the last section, and the classical musicians matram I wrote. But the Veena player and the Mirdangam player, verbally I told them what to do. So my last show in London was actually an example of bringing all of these things together. Nice. So when I compose for a classical ensemble, for a string quartet, movies when I composed for, I had to write for a classical ensemble, and they will play exactly what I wrote. Anniki Karthala povom, anniki madhyano recording. Ipa Laganode theme score I had orchestrated for Rahman. So Rahman gave me the melody and said, string orchestra can you orchestrate for that? So everything had to be written. அங்க போய் ஸ்டுடியோல நீங்க இது ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க சார், அது ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க சார்னாக்க ஸ்டுடியோ டைம் will be wasted, and that's not correct. Whereas in other situations, I will call musicians to the studio and completely organically work with them. So it depends on the context.
Okay. Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, a lot of people kind of say that a regular job and a job of being an artist is so different. But the more you talk, I'm like, it's not different. It's like a project management job at the end of the day, right? Like you go for what is the goal of it? Like, what do you need? What is the space? What is the timeline? அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு what is the best way of doing things அப்படின்ற மாதிரி தான் இருக்கு. I mean, obviously it does have a lot of artistic value to it, added to it, but I think the way people approach, the way artists approach something is very similar to how normal people approach things in their own
Oh
job.
yeah, yeah. I'm 100% normal. In fact, என்ன பார்த்தா ரொம்ப all of us are, that's why I said demystifying has been a big part of my life. The artist is is not someone from another planet.
Oh, a lot of us feel that way though, because I think that the reason we feel that way is because with your art you take us to another planet.
The art can make it look like it's coming from the another planet, not the artist.
Yeah.
It's the art that's important. The artist is a normal, basic human being. Okay, and but நீங்க சொன்னது was very interesting and very correct. See, as a composer, if I am approaching the classical path, everything I have to do, எல்லாருக்கும் நான் எழுதி கொடுக்கணும், then I have to know everybody's tools of the trade really well.
Yeah.
Right? But if I am also doing the other path where I don't want to tell everybody what they do, that is, I don't want to micromanage,
Yeah.
then I have to think like a CEO who says there is a CFO here, there is a CTO here. I need to know what the CFO does. The CFO may be the violin player. I need to know what the CTO does. Maybe the CTO is the clarinet player. But I don't want to push my toes on the CFO so that the CFO says, "Niye paathuko pairalam." So you are dealing with subtle body language. You're dealing with how to get the best out of your team without trampling on their toes. So there is a ton of other psychological aspects. I always tell people, a great musician who does multiple things, right, as a composer, player, band leader, educator, and all that, has to spend time understanding the human condition, understanding psychology, and I would even say have to play chess. in my opinion, to be able to do all these things. That's why I play chess every day.
Yeah.
And I read people to understand how they think and feel every day, because music is about feeling, it's not about logic.
Yeah.
So to understand how people feel is a very unique science. If you don't understand, Ilayaraja sir, to me, is this great because he understands the human condition. ஒரு human being ஓட எல்லா வித emotional expression-யும் நன்னா புரிஞ்சு வச்சுட்டு இருக்காரு. அதனாலதான் எந்த எமோஷனா இருந்தாலும் he can create music for that. His knowledge of the human condition, the the social condition and the psychological condition is what has made him who he is.
Wow.
The techniques of the tools of the music is there. There are also other people who have learned the same styles of music. But where he really shines is understanding the human condition. Understanding the human condition is the necessary pursuit for a great artist. And as long as you observe that, humility will come, observation will come, reflection will come, even refraction will come. That is my.
That is so nice to hear, and I've been completely enjoying talking to you, and it's not just about art, it's just about living in general, and it's been amazing. இன்னைக்கு வந்து நம்ம கிட்டார் பிரசனாவோட பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம். எப்படி டைம் போச்சுனே தெரியல, அண்ட் we're almost towards the end of the show. பட் அவர் போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி எனக்கு அவர்கிட்ட ரொம்ப ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு கேள்வி இருந்தது. Obviously we promoting the show, that he's going to be here on Friday. He's in West London doing an Ilayaraja special. On Saturday he's in east of London, Greenwichல வந்து AR Rahman special பண்றாரு, and Sunday Scotlandல Edinburghல வந்து mix of everything பண்றாரு. But when I first heard about the show, I thought it was a mix of a lot of musicians coming together. But then I got to know it was just one person who's going to come and then do the show. So how does it work? I think it is a very unique way of doing a concert that at least I have never been to. So if you want to talk about where that idea of, okay, na indha madri or show panna porendra idea engendu vandadu, and also what can people expect when they're coming for the show?
சிம்பிள். நீங்க நிறைய ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடி ஷோஸ் பண்றீங்க, எல்லாரும் குரூப்பா வராங்களா இல்ல தனியா பண்றாங்க? அதான் இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன். ட்ரீட் மீ லைக் a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
இவ்வளவு ஸ்டாண்டப் காமெடியன்ஸ் அங்க வந்து தனியா பண்ணி எல்லாரும் என்ஜாய் பண்றாங்கன்னா மியூசிக்லயும் அதே மாதிரி தான். பட் see, I'm not playing alone because I don't have a band. I'm not playing solo. Aloneன்றதுக்கு ஏதோ அலோனா ஏதோ பாவமா இருக்கு. Solo.
Solo.
I'm not playing solo
Uh-huh.
because I don't want to play with other musicians. அதே மாதிரி the audience is going to not listen to me thinking about other musicians.
Yeah.
Now, I have played so many. Last weekend, I played a concert in Bangalore, which was also solo. I played so many solo shows around the world. Um, if you see classical guitar players,
Mhm.
right, they play solo shows. Classical piano solo is like very common. What is interesting is in the style of music, solo guitar is not common.
Yeah.
That is what is new.
Yeah.
In jazz, it is common,
Mhm.
somewhat common. In classical guitar, it's somewhat common. But when you think of Ilayaraja songs,
Yeah.
you think of like, a singer with a large group of people,
ஆமா.
right? அதுக்கு this is not common, but அதுக்கு காரணம் வந்து is my background.
Mhm.
My object here is, and the இன்னொரு காரணம் வந்து Ilayaraja himself is a guitar player.
Okay.
That is his primary instrument.
Mhm.
So my thinking is like this. இப்போ ஒரு ஃபில்மை ரீஇமேஜின் பண்ணி திருப்பி எடுத்தா எப்படி இருக்கும்
Mhm.
அந்த மாதிரி இப்போ இதே இளையராஜா சார் வந்து கிட்டாரை வச்சுட்டு இஃப் ஹி வாண்ட்ஸ் டு ரீஇமேஜின் ஹிஸ் சாங்ஸ் ஃபார் ஒன் கிட்டார் ஹவு வுட் இட் பி இஸ் ஹவு ஐ திங்க்
Nice.
அண்ட் ஐ வாண்ட் டு பிரசன்ட் தட் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் டு தி ஆடியன்ஸ். The important thing is this: இளையராஜா சாங்ஸ் தெரியாதவங்க கூட என்ஜாய் பண்ணலாம்.
Wow.
ஏன்னா லாங்குவேஜ் கிடையாது.
Mhm.
The language is guitar, not even Tamil film music
Mhm.
or Hindi film music, right? Now, I'm not doing lyrics. So
Mhm.
everybody can enjoy. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people who are fans of my guitar playing who are going to come, who may not know 80 songs of Ilayaraja. Now, the Ilayaraja thing also happened because this is his 80th birthday year.
Yeah.
So Ilayaraja's music has been a huge influence in my life and has defined my musical upbringing.
Mhm.
So I wanted to pay a tribute to him in a way that is unique and true to me.
Mhm.
That is only I would be able to pay a tribute like that. And எனக்கு தோணினாதா it is interesting for me. So I thought, why don't I make a potpourri of 80 songs of his,
Mhm.
right? And connect it to guitar
Mhm.
and make it work as a
Wow.
thing. It's very challenging, but
Yeah.
it's இது வரைக்கும் I've done about so many shows, like at least 7-8 in the last year or so, and the audience response has been stunning. And you see people crying, you see people like going back to their school memories, you see people singing along with me playing.
Mhm.
And it is fascinating because Ilayaraja's music has made a huge difference to all our lives.
Yeah.
And நான் அப்பவே வாசிச்சு காமிச்ச மாதிரி, it's not just the melody.
Yeah.
It is not. There are many Ilayaraja songs that are known by what the guitar player is playing, not even the singer.
Yeah.
இளைய நிலா பொழிகிறதுனா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சிங்கரோட கிட்டார் தான் எல்லாருக்கும் தோணும்.
Mhm.
அதே மாதிரி இஃப் யூ see some other songs, the flute or whatever it is. So இது எல்லாத்தையும் மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி I want to create an experience that is only possible that day with me and that audience. So உங்க வீட்ல வந்து நான் வந்து வாசிக்கிற அதே ஃபீலிங் வந்து பெரிய ஸ்டேஜ்ல கிரியேட் பண்ணணும். That was the intent.
Nice.
Secondly, I want to feed off the vibration of the people to reinterpret stuff on stage
Mhm.
so that we are all in it together. இப்போ சடனா வந்து ஒரு ஒரு டின்னர் பார்ட்டி கூப்பிட்டு ஆர்கானிக்கா எல்லாரையும் நம்ம இன்வால்வ் பண்றது ஒண்ணு,
Mhm.
ஏற்கனவே எல்லாம் பிளான் பண்ணி இன்விடேஷன் போட்டு படிக்கிறது ஒண்ணு.
Mhm.
So the spontaneity, all of it to me increases the whole excitement.
Mhm.
And the focus here is the guitar.
Mhm.
The guitar is something that can do all of these things. So if I play Ninnu Kori Varnam of Ilayaraja, I have to play the bass guitar part. It's important.
Mhm.
And when you do that, you will be able to relish the song a lot more. So it is a challenge and a rewarding excitement for me. And I'm sure people will see and be a part of an experience that is very valuable. Now, that is the first show, playing 80 songs of Ilayaraja as a tribute to
Yeah.
Ilayaraja's 80th year. And all the songs reimagined for guitar.
Okay.
So I have worked very hard for the last 35 years to find a way to connect Raja sir's music to one instrument. Now I'm presenting it.
Present.
Behind this lies 35 years of working on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next day is radically different from that. I'm radically that because I'm still the same person playing. But the thinking is very different because this time, what is interesting is with A.R. Rahman, I have worked a lot with him. I had recorded guitars from Julai Madam Vandal and Pudhiya Mugam to Kannodu Kanbadillam in Jeans to Lovebirds to Muttu to you name it. Then Lagan, Swades, um, all of these things, and then including his Hollywood scores, 100 Foot Journey, $1 Million Arm, MTV Coke Studio Project. I'd been working with Rahman for many, 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 many years and I have a perspective of how Rahman thinks. And I want to bring that perspective. Why does Dilse have that blues intro? Why does Chinna Chinna Asai have that little reggae component there? Right? And because in many ways I also have a lot of affinity with Rahman's thinking, me interpreting Rahman's music is going to be very interesting because I'm also going to play a lot of songs which I myself play, and therefore there's a much more direct connection. So Ilayaraja sir comes from the inspiration angle. I've worked a lot with him too, and I will play some of those songs. But then he's very senior to me, and like he is the reason why I started, I guess, like playing guitar seriously. So I see that in a different way. Whereas Rahman is like a contemporary that is still a great inspiration for me. But I have also contributed to his music and thereby the thinking behind the music. So I want to expose that to the audience. So the same London audience can see two completely different sides of me, aligning with two completely different but two great composers of the modern times from India. In Scotland, I want to distinguish it even further. The earlier this year in Seattle, I did one day. I was looking at Jules Verne's "Around the World in 80 Days," and I thought, "Wow, my next concert. Why don't I do Around the World in 80 songs?" Where I would pick African music, Celtic music, reggae, jazz, metal, rock, Carnatic, Ilayaraja songs, A.R. Rahman songs, R.D. Burman songs, and all that. A bouquet that's like, really. For example, I'll show you. Most people may not know that you can connect completely disparate things in music. Just now, let me think of like, okay, there's a song of Ilayaraja called Ennodu Paadu Paadu Da 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 Da. Now, that sounds like Buffalo Soldier by Bob Marley. Buffalo Soldier. Da, 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 da. What is the connection? The connection is the key of A major. That's the musical thing, don't worry. The connection is the key of A major. The connection may be the scale. The connection may be some elements of the melody. Right? Now, by bringing out those connections, now I'm taking it even further. Right? I can go from an A.R. Rahman song into a traditional African piece. I can go from a traditional African piece to an Irish song. How I do it is for the audience to see, and that is going even more. For example, I can go from a Carnatic Kriti to a Nirvana song like "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and I've done it zillion times, and people love it. So my goal is to do something that is challenging, energizing, that puts me in a state where I have to be on top of my game to be able to deliver it because I want to give only the best to my audiences. I don't want to play it safe. But at the same time, I also have to keep their listening tastes and all that. I heard that in Edinburgh there are lots of like blues guitar players and other people who want to come for the show. Then I said, okay, why don't we expand it to this? And that way, all 3 days I'm playing something extremely different. So it inspires me to be the absolute best that I can be because in the if people are willing to drive from, I know people are driving from Wales to the London concert. I know people are coming from all over. இந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு லவோட இவ்வளோ பேர் வந்து பார்க்குறாங்கன்னா அவங்க டைமை கொடுத்துட்டு I have to make their experience absolutely valuable and something that they cannot get anywhere else. That is my goal.
That is so nice to hear, and I'm super, super excited, about the show. What do you expect from the audience?
All I expect from them is a lot of love, lots of singing, hopefully,
Mhm.
and for them to have a good time. But I want them to go back feeling that they have taken something that will hopefully remain with them for a
Oh,
long, long time. And that is where I'm going to work as hard as possible to give them an experience that they will never forget,
that is so
and
nice
and
to
for them to give me an experience that I'll never forget. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
yeah. That is so nice to hear. And I must say that இன்னைக்கு ஒரு 1 hour நான் உங்ககிட்ட பேசியிருக்கேன். நானும் சரி, I'm sure my listeners are feeling exactly as elated as I am. It has been amazing, and I can't wait to come for your shows. So if you want to just say when are you playing in UK, அது மட்டும் சொல்லிட்டீங்கன்னா then I can use
Yeah.
that.
So thank you, Suresh, and everybody at Blue Feather Events for the excitement. Um, and from the beginning, you've been very excited about these out of the box type
Yeah.
concerts, which are now slowly becoming in the box, at least part of the box that I'm in. So third Eniki, we are doing at Bhavan Auditorium.
Yeah.
That concert is exclusively devoted to Ilayaraja's music. It's called Prasanna Plays 80 Songs of Ilayaraja, celebrating Ilayaraja 80. It's Ilayaraja's 80th birthday year celebrate பண்றதுக்கு. It's a guitar celebration of Ilayaraja's music. So please come for the concert. Uh, the level of diversity that is there in Ilayaraja's music is staggering. So
Mhm.
even if you don't know any of his songs, you're going to enjoy a ride. You're going to enjoy a magic carpet ride on the guitar that is going to take you to places thanks to his incredible music and the way I will translate it to the guitar. So you don't have to know any of his songs. You don't have to worry whether I'm playing Kannada songs or Hindi songs or Tamil songs. I will play all of them, but
Mhm.
it is guitar, instrumental music. So there is no need to know anything and just lose yourself in the music. The next day, same thing, but in a different way. I'm going to focus the entire concert exclusively on the music of A.R. Rahman. And I think it's fair because Ilayaraja and A.R. Rahman have been two pillars of inspiration for me through my musical life.
Mhm.
And it's only fitting that I play a concert of Rahman's music the next day. And this time, again, interpreting A.R. Rahman's music from a different angle. And A.R. Rahman's music has a lot of world music elements in it, so it's going to be very exciting. And this way, people who are coming for both shows, and I hope there are people who are coming for both shows, will see completely different sides
Yeah.
of guitar playing and completely different sides of thinking, just as a tribute to both these great minds, Ilayaraja and A.R. Rahman. That is on
4th of May.
Saturday, May 4th at Up the Creek Comedy Club. I may not do any comedy, that's for sure, but who knows? But that morning, we are
Yeah.
doing the guitar styles workshop, which is open for all guitar players, and exceptions can be made if there are other instrumentalists who want to come and who badly want to come. We can make the exception. That is in the morning at 11 o'clock, and evening is the Prasanna and the music of A.R. Rahman show. The next day in Edinburgh, we have the concert, which is a multi-genre concert, up close and unplugged, and where you're going to hear me play anything from Eric Clapton to Bob Marley to Muthuswami Dikshithar Kritis to Ilayaraja songs to R.D. Burman songs to Metallica to Nirvana to Pink Floyd to Jethro Tull to all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So those are the three shows, and whoever comes from for all three shows will get some treat for me. I don't know what the treat will be, but whatever it is, I would love to. This is the first time I'm coming after 2001, and I want all of these to be like very well attended, and I want to sell this out. I'm used to selling out shows a week before,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the excitement will pick up, and we're getting great
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for your time, and thanks a lot. I'm sure our listeners are elated as well.